I've taken a little bit of time here to make an alien ship. Now, if you look up Space Invaders, you might get something like this. If you want to try to replicate this, by all means. If you want to make your own spaceship, by all means. I somewhat tried to maybe replicate this a little bit. Obviously, it's not quite there, but it's okay. So I did this. This is a separate sprite. We can give it a name. Alien ship. So here we have the alien ship. We have our ship. You should be your spaceship. You should be able to move your spaceship sideways, and you should be able to shoot little rockets. Okay, so we have our alien ship. That means that at this point, you need to start writing the code for this alien ship. You need to start writing the code for it. Now, I'm going to pause for a minute, and then I'm going to give you an idea of what your alien ship should do, and maybe give you some pointers. Well, before I do that, I did not, when I drew this ship, I didn't group it. It's always a good idea to highlight your entire drawing and group all this together. Now, what that does is that if you decide to move your drawing, it moves the whole thing just by dragging it. Notice you can center it right there. Whereas if they were not grouped, so suppose I ungroup them, and if I was to move, it moves only one piece of it. So grouping this is just convenient in case you want to move this around. So we have the alien ship, we have the spaceship, and the goal here is to draw this alien ship and draw like a formation of a few of these, meaning you want to have quite a few. A whole line of these. I'm going to start by shrinking the size of this so I can go to the code and I can say that when the flag is clicked, I want this alien ship. It's look, I want to change its size, shrink it. Instead of its full size 100%, maybe like 60%. And then let's try this. Okay, that's good. And then what you want is maybe you want to take this and you want to start drawing it. You want to move it up here. Notice if I move it, it tells me here the location, -198, +156. And so I can go to motion and I can grab a go to block. Notice it has the same coordinates that it did here. I'll round this up to -200 and this up to 160. So there it is. We have one. Your job then is going to be to create more than one. Now, as far as how you would do that, you would create clones, right? And when you create a clone, it should be over here on the side of this spaceship. Now, a good thing to do would be to go to the control where you can create a clone. Now, if you click it, I should have created a clone. Notice that it did, but it was right there, okay? So that's the original one. If I click on the flag, the clones are gone. If I click the block, there's a clone here. And I can move it a little bit to the side. And notice it gives me these coordinates for the clone. -146, 160. So if I then say, okay, when I start as a clone, let's go to, where's the go to? Right here, go to. -146. So that looks to be roughly 60 more. Notice this is 200, -200. If you add 60, you get -140. Let's say 50. So 50 to the right. And we'll keep this as 160. And so now, if I stop this, if I click on the flag, it automatically creates the clone, which is right here next to that one. We can do a delay here so we can see the clone show up a little bit after we click on the flag, so we can actually see the clone show up as it happens. There it is. Notice so we press on the flag, we wait 2 seconds, we create a clone. The clone is off to the right. So this is good. Then you would have to then create another clone. So you start thinking, okay, well, how can I create more than one clone? How many clones can I fit here? So that's a good question, right? How many clones can you fit? And how do I make it so that when I click on the flag, it draws 10 or however many alien spaceships here in formation? I can give you some pointers, some hints. I could even potentially kind of guide you through the process, but maybe this is something we can discuss right now in class. Obviously, you'll be watching this video after class, but we can have a class discussion on this. So the goal here first is to create the row of clones. When we have our row of clones, then we need to start thinking about having them move maybe a little bit sideways and then downward for sure, so that they're approaching the spaceship. Notice again, there's a delay here. Well, what would happen if I did something like, well, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to. I want you to try to figure this out. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. We'll end the tutorial here. I might post a second tutorial if I find that you guys need a little more help with this, but I want you to see if you can figure out a way to make an entire row of clones here. They're all going to be equally distanced from one another. So this one starts here, negative 200, 160. When you create a clone, notice the clone should move 50 units to the right. If I add to negative 200, I add 50, I get negative 150. So every clone should be 50 units to the right. I think that's a good space. Maintain the same Y position, so 160. So then you start thinking about making a variable maybe, or even a list where you can store all these positions. Okay,